آموزش سریع مکالمه انگلیسی روز 38 درس 38
Listen. Oh, hi, Susan. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Not bad. Where are you going?
I'm going to see some friends, Maria and Felipe Martinez. They're both from Mexico, but they've lived here for a few years now.
They live here in the city? Where?
On East 52nd Street. Do you want to walk there with me?
You're going to walk? Why don't you take a taxi?
Taxis are too expensive, and I like to walk.
منظورش از شهر نیویورکه.
New York City. Listen again. Oh, hi, Susan. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Not bad. Where are you going?
I'm going to see some friends, Maria and Felipe Martinez. They're both from Mexico, but they've lived here for a few years now.
They live here in the city? Where?
On East 52nd Street. Do you want to walk there with me?
You're going to walk? Why don't you take a taxi?
Taxis are too expensive, and I like to walk.
با یه دوستید. اون در خیابون یکی رو میبینه. میگه اونها یه همکارم.
There's a colleague of mine.
Ask. یه همکارت؟
A colleague of yours?
اسم همکارت چیه؟
Listen and repeat.
What's your colleague's name? Colleagues. Your colleague's name. What's your colleague's name?
بپرسید اسم همکارت چیه؟
What's your colleague's name?
اسمش فلیپ مارتینزه.
His name is Felipe Martinez.
کلمبیاییه.
He's Colombian.
و خانمش از مکزیکه.
And his wife is from Mexico. Try to say,
اسم زنش ماریاست.
his wife's name is Maria.
ولی نمیشناسمش.
But I don't know her.
اونا حالا آمریکا زندگی میکنن. وقتی مشخصی که راجع به کشور آمریکاست بگید United States.
They live in the United States now. Say,
2 ساله که اینجا زندگی میکنن یا 2 سال اینجا زندگی کردن.
they've lived here for 2 years. How do you say,
هر دوتا.
both? Say that they've both lived here for 2 years. They've both lived here for 2 years. Say,
نه وایسا.
no, wait.
او بعداً رسید.
She arrived later.
او 2 ساله که اینجا زندگی میکنه.
Listen and repeat. He's lived here for 2 years. He's lived. Has. Has lived. He has lived. He's lived. He's lived here for 2 years. Say,
2 سال اینجا زندگی کرده.
he's lived here for 2 years.
ولی او اینجا زندگی کرده، خانومه.
But she's lived here.
او 1 سال اینجا زندگی کرده.
She's lived here for 1 year. Try to say,
خانومش 1 ساله که اینجا زندگی کرده.
his wife has lived here for 1 year. Ask,
چند وقت اینجا زندگی کرده؟
How long has she lived here?
مدت 1 سال.
for 1 year.
اونا 1 سال اینجا زندگی کردن.
They've lived here for 1 year.
با هم.
Together.
هر دوتا انگلیسی خیلی خوب حرف میزنن.
They both speak English very well.
ولی بعضی وقتا
But sometimes
گاهی با هم اسپانیولی حرف میزنیم.
Sometimes we speak Spanish together. Ask again.
اسم همکارت چیه؟
What's your colleague's name?
فلیپه. اسمش فلیپه است.
Felipe. His name is Felipe.
و اسم زنش ماریاست.
And his wife's name is Maria.
یک ساله که اینجا زندگی میکنه.
She's lived here for 1 year.
هر دوتایی واشنگتن دی سی زندگی میکنن.
They both live in Washington, D.C.
بعضی وقتا میرم واشنگتن.
Sometimes I go to Washington
چون همکارم اونجا زندگی میکنه.
because my colleague lives there. Now ask,
چرا نمیریم کافه باغ؟
Why don't we go to the garden cafe?
میتونیم قهوه بخوریم، صرف کنیم، سام.
We can have some coffee.
یا یه لیوان شراب.
Or a glass of wine?
Say,
باشه، گاردن کافه رو دوست دارم.
all right, I like the garden cafe.
اغلب میرم اونجا.
Listen and repeat. I often go there. Often. I often go there. Say in English.
غالباً.
Often.
اکثر میرم گاردن کافه.
I often go to the garden cafe.
میتونیم پیاده بریم اونجا.
We can walk there.
یا میتونیم تاکسی بگیریم.
Or we can take a taxi.
ولی ماشینم خونه است.
But my car is at home.
میتونیم راه بریم یا تاکسی بگیریم.
We can walk or take a taxi.
یا میتونیم سوار مترو بشیم.
Listen and repeat. Or we can take the subway. Subway. Way. Sub. Subway. The subway. Say,
میتونیم مترو بگیریم.
we can take the subway.
مترو سریعه.
The subway is fast.
و گرون نیست.
And it's not expensive.
در شهر بعضی وقتا مترو سوار میشم.
In the city, sometimes I take the subway.
و اغلب قدم میزنم.
And I often walk.
ولی ماشینم خونه است.
But my car is at home.
میتونیم مترو سوار شیم.
We can take the subway.
بله البته.
Listen and repeat.
Yes, of course. Course. Of. Of course. Yes, of course.
البته که میتونیم مترو بگیریم که مستتره.
Of course we can take the subway.
Ask.
میخوای مترو بگیری؟
Do you want to take the subway? Now answer.
امروز نه.
Not today.
امروز دلم میخواد پیاده برم.
Today I'd like to walk.
حتما.
Of course. Say,
میتونیم تا کافه قدم بزنیم. به کافه.
we can walk to the cafe.
و میتونیم یه لیوان شراب بخوریم. صرف کنیم.
And we can have a glass of wine.
و بعد
And then
من باید برم یه فروشگاه.
I have to go to a department store.
میخوام چند تا چیز بخرم.
I want to buy a few things.
واسه پسرم.
For my son.
بزرگتره یا کوچیکتره؟
The older one or the younger one?
کوچیکتره.
The younger one.
بزرگتره چیزی لازم نداره.
The older one doesn't need anything.
میخوای با من بری مغازه؟
Do you want to go to the store with me?
بله البته.
Yes, of course. Of course I do.
Now say,
من اغلب به فروشگاهی میرم.
I often go to the department store.
تو خیابان پارک.
On Park Avenue.
چقدر راهه یا چقدر دوره یا فاصلهش چقدره یا تا کجاست؟ همه یکیه.
how far is it?
Now try to ask,
چقدر دیر؟ تا کی؟
How late?
try to ask,
مغازه‌ها تا کی بازن؟
How late are the stores open?
تا ساعت 8.
listen and repeat.
Until 8 o'clock.
Say,
تا ساعت 8.
Until 8 o'clock.
ask,
تا کی؟
How late?
ask,
مغازه‌ها تا کی بازن؟
How late are the stores open?
تا ساعت 10.
Until 10 o'clock.
بعضی وقتا تا ساعت 10 بازن.
Sometimes they're open until 10 o'clock.
پس خیلی وقت داریم.
Then we have a lot of time.
میل داری اول یه چیزی بنوشی؟
Listen and repeat.
Would you like to have something to drink first? First.
Say,
اول.
First.
میل داری اول یه چیزی بنوشی؟
Would you like to have something to drink first?
آره حتما.
Yes, of course. Of course I would.
دلم میخواد اول یه چیزی بنوشم.
I'd like to have something to drink first.
پس چرا نمیریم کافه باغ؟
Then why don't we go to the garden cafe?
میتونیم قدم بزنیم.
We can walk.
یا میتونیم مترو بگیریم.
Or we can take the subway.
یا یه تاکسی.
Or a taxi.
ولی ماشینم خونه است.
But my car is at home.
امروز خانمم ماشین رو لازم داره.
Today my wife needs the car.
برای چی؟
Why?
چون یه دوستی میاد دیدن.
Because a friend is coming to visit.
try to ask,
یه دوستتون؟
A friend of yours?
آره یه دوست اهل مکزیک.
Yes, a friend from Mexico.
try to ask,
اسم دوستتون چیه؟
What's your friend's name?
آنیتا لوپز. اسمش آنیتا لوپزه.
Anita Lopez. Her name is Anita Lopez.
فکر نکنم بشناسیش.
I don't think you know her.
شوهرشم میاد برای دیدار.
Her husband is coming to visit too.
مکزیکیه.
He's Mexican.
how do you say,
واسه 10 سال.
For 10 years.
say,
و مکزیک زندگی کرده.
And she's lived in Mexico.
ده سال مکزیک زندگی کرده.
She's lived in Mexico for 10 years.
دوتاشون انگلیسی خیلی خوب حرف میزنن.
They both speak English very well.
کی رسیدن آمریکا؟
When did they arrive in the United States?
دیشب رسیدن.
They arrived last night.
Try to say,
باید برن بوستون.
They have to go to Boston.
ولی اول میخوان نیویورک رو ببینن.
But they want to see New York first.
هر دوشون میخوان نیویورک رو ببینن.
They both want to see New York.
ساعت چنده؟
What time is it?
It's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? Then I have to leave.
ask him why.
Why?
I have to go to a department store.
Ask how late the stores are open.
How late are the stores open?
امروز تا ساعت 6 وازن.
Today they're open until 6 o'clock.
Say that you'd like to go with him.
I'd like to go with you.
Say,
باید یه چند تا چیز بخرم.
I have to buy a few things.
برای دوستان در مکزیک.
For my friends in Mexico.
Of course, we can go together.
ask,
واسه قهوه اول وقت داریم؟
Do we have time for coffee first?
We have time if we take a taxi.
say,
باشه. چرا تاکسی نمیگیریم؟
All right, why don't we take a taxi?
اغلب مترو میگیرم.
I often take the subway,
اما امروز میتونیم تاکسی سوار شیم.
but today we can take a taxi.
پایان درس 38.